Ready? Good afternoon and welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bill DeVito, and I'm the Vice President of Government and External Affairs with Big Brothers Big Sisters Independence Region. On behalf of my colleagues, our agency, and everyone gathered here, welcome, and we thank you for taking time out of your calendars today to join us for our annual legislative luncheon. This is the 11th annual legislative luncheon that our agency has put on, and typically we do this in an effort to celebrate the relationship and the deep partnership that we have with the City of Philadelphia. Today has a little different twist, something unique, because we also want to celebrate you, the mentors and mentees who give so much of your time and of yourself to participate in a program like this and really make this type of programming successful. So kids from Carver, woo! Kids from Ethel Allen, yo! Just wanted to give you guys a quick shout out too. Again, I know that the mayor's time is short, so I just wanted to keep my remarks brief and then invite him up to address you all and let you guys ask some questions afterwards. So with that, please give me a warm welcome for the mayor of the City of Philadelphia, Mayor Jim Kennedy.
Thanks, Bill, and I'm really glad to be with you all here this morning, or this afternoon, I think it is. Big Brothers Big Sisters provides a very important role in the lives of our kids. Bigs are not just companions, they are mentors and they are friends. They provide a sense of support that many of our children need to be on a pathway to success. The success of this organization is clear. We know that little brothers and little sisters are less likely to skip school, use drugs, or act violently than children who aren't in the program. Overall, the relationships that kids form with their bigs has a very beneficial effect on improving outcomes for Philadelphia students. Whether it's playing sports, grabbing a bite to eat, or catching a movie, bigs are able to set a positive example for their littles and help them develop into successful young adults. I want to thank everyone who serves as a big for their willingness to make a positive impact in a child's life. Growing up is hard. Growing up in a city is really hard. Sometimes we just need an adult with some lived experience to show us the way, and it often only takes one individual to have a profound impact on a child's life. I also want to thank the children in the program, as well as their families, for making the decision to have a positive adult role model in their lives. We must always endeavor to provide our children with the supports they need to be successful in school and lead a fulfilling life and meet their potential. As we return our schools to local control and provide the school district with the resources it needs, the help of community partners such as Big Brothers, Big Sisters is essential to reach our students inside and outside of the classroom. So thank you all for being here and everything that you do to improve the lives of our children, and enjoy your time in City Hall, because after all you own this building. I've asked kids before, I said, who do you think owns City Hall? And they said, you own City Hall. I said, nope. You own City Hall. It's your building and your parents' building and your community's building, because you pay taxes and are citizens of this city. And as you get older, you're going to be asked to reach back and bring a child forward also. So I'm really glad, because this process begets continued involvement in helping others' lives. And when I was in high school at St. Joe's Prep, the Jesuits taught us that you're never truly happy. You can be very successful, you can be wealthy, you can be very famous, but you're never really happy unless you're actually in service to others and helping someone else have their situation resolved, or helping someone else have a positive experience. So God bless you all. We love you. We're happy that you're here. We're happy that you do what you do, and just keep on doing it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor Kenny. And I think some of the kids have been working on some questions in anticipation of your speech today. So if you wouldn't mind just fielding a couple of those, I know they'd be grateful.
Great. Who's got a question? Yes, sir. Oh, you got it written down. I'm in trouble. Well, we established, you could have a seat. We established the Philadelphia beverage tax about 2 years ago, and about a year and a half ago. And part of that beverage tax, although some people are angry about it, but remember, you don't need soda to live. Soda is something that you drink because you like the taste of it. It's really not good for you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Where do you see the Philadelphia economy in a year?
Well, our unemployment is not bad. Our unemployment amongst certain segments of our population, like African Americans and other people of color, is much higher than it should be. I don't know what's going to happen in the Trump administration. I don't know where they're going. No, I don't think he knows where they're going, from hour to hour, from tweet to tweet. We should be on good track. As you know, we're pursuing Amazon. We're pursuing a number of other large companies. Hopefully, we'll be successful in that and continue to grow. We've grown our population over the last two census cycles. We've done that mostly through immigration and young people, millennials, moving into the city, and we'll continue on that. And we're one of the largest millennial growth populations in the nation. We're number one, and we're a large population. We're a large growth city for startup businesses, including tech. So I think the future is bright. If we don't, God forbid, get in a war with somebody, or North Korea decides to do something crazy, and Trump responds, and then all bets are off, and who knows what happens. But if things are the way they are now, next year, we should be in good shape. Anybody? Thing I like the best and the thing I like the worst? Thing I like the best is being with kids. I don't like adults as much as kids. No offense to anybody here as an adult, but it's just nice. It's just nice to be in a school, to be around kids. That's fun. What I don't like about it is when people don't want to do things because they have no good reason not to do it. They just don't want to do it, and they resist change, and they resist improvement. And the other issue is how we treat each other, and how we treat each other racially, how we treat each other gender-wise, how we treat each other ethnically, the attitudes that people have. And this president has allowed nastiness and racism to not only be there, but to raise its head above the rock that it was hiding under. And it's a shame. And I think that he sends out these buzzwords and code words and red meat to his constituents, who are, many of them, racist themselves. And that's what's caused us to be apart a little bit. So that's what I don't like. I want to keep Philadelphia safe, but I also want to keep Philadelphia diverse. And I want everybody to be respected. I want everybody to have their place and feel that they're wanted and listened to and valued. And it's hard in this environment because, again, this president makes ugly people even uglier. Anybody else? Yes, sir. We just took back local control. Starting July 1st, we will have a school board again and not have a school reform commission that's appointed by the state. We will have a 9-member panel that's appointed by the mayor. It's been appointed by the mayor, and they will take over July 1st. We will have those curriculum discussions. Financial literacy is really important. Sex education is really important because people, your life gets off track when you have unplanned things happen in your life, and things happen if you don't know what you're doing. I think that people should be safe, but they should also have the knowledge they need to keep themselves from going down an economic path that sometimes you can't come back from, and it especially impacts women more than it impacts men, because obviously women are the people who bear children and wind up with the most responsibility for raising children. So I think financial literacy, sexual education, I think also diversity training and training on implicit racial bias. I think people don't even realize they're racially biased sometimes. It's just something that they grow up with, that they're here in their home when they were kids, and they hear in their neighborhood. And I grew up in a neighborhood that was like that, and my parents kept that away from us. You weren't allowed to use bad words in our house as far as the N-word or things like that. My mom would throw you out the door if you tried to do that or say that in front of her or her kids. But I also think we need real lessons in history of different people in our city. I think we need African American history, which is actually American history. It's not African American history. It's American history that wasn't told, or it was told differently, or it was ignored. We need to know the history of people who have come to this country, who are Latino, who are Asian, who are African. We need to know why they came and how they came and what they went through, so we can experience respect for each other. People don't know, both people of color and people who are Caucasian don't always know about civil rights struggles. They don't know who John Lewis is. They don't know where the Edmund Pettus Bridge is and what it was, and why it meant something symbolic, why it symbolizes a struggle. They don't know about Malcolm X. They don't know about, so you have to know about people's histories in order to be able to respect their contribution. And that's why it was so important for us to do the Octavius Catto statue, because basically what he was the Jackie Robinson and Martin Luther King of his day. And I didn't hear his name until I was 40-something years old. I should have been taught about him in history class when I was in grade school, so that I could understand that it wasn't just white European men who made this country. They say Columbus discovered America. Well, he really didn't. He discovered Haiti, I think, or one of the Dominican Republic. And there were people living here for centuries before Europeans came. And what African history is, the history of the great countries and nations of Africa and what they accomplished and all the things that they brought to the world. Our kids don't learn that. And Malcolm X said that if you don't know you ever did anything, you don't know you can do anything. And that's important. So we need to make sure that all the people who contributed to our country's history are recognized and honored. And that's why the Catto statue was important for me. And it's had more of an impact than I've ever expected it would. Every time I go by there, there's a group of people there. Every time I go by there, there's someone reading the various things that are printed about what he did. And one of the things I saw, which was beautiful, is a church group was out there one afternoon, and they were, as you see, Catto's, he's standing with his arms outstretched, and one person was holding his hand, and there was a half semicircle around him holding the other hand, and they were praying. It was beautiful, beautiful, touching. So I think that we need to look at on the new school board, need to look at our curriculum and look to what we teach and how we teach it. And I think that a lot of this racial animus would subside if we could understand that it was, again, as I said, it wasn't just white European men who made this country what it is. Good and bad. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Oh, again. Well, that's part of our rebuild program. We are going to probably affect about 120 or so facilities around the city, in every neighborhood in the city. Our libraries and rec centers and our parks need to be refurbished. And the reason they need to be refurbished in neighborhoods is because if you're a 10-year-old little boy or girl and you're going to a school that's struggling and you're in a struggling neighborhood, and after school you go to a crappy library or a crappy rec center, by the time you're 18, 20 years old, nobody cares about you. There's no equity and there's no caring. We don't, the government don't care. Nobody cares. But if we can show some equity and investment in these neighborhoods, then our young people will understand that there's a place for them. And when they go to a library to get computer help or computer access, or go to a rec center for after-school programs or for sports, and they walk into a beautiful facility, they'll say, hey, this is pretty nice, and we deserve this because the people in the suburbs have it. Why should we have it? So we have great plans for our facilities and neighborhoods. You had a question?
Being in an important leadership role in the city, what kind of leadership skills have you learned, and what is some leadership advice you give to us as future leaders?
Listen. Talk less, listen more. Try to look for the good in people and look for the good in issues as opposed to just complaining about it. And I have a hard time with that because I seem like I complain a lot to myself in my own head. Try to look for the positivity, collaborate, and put smarter people around you than you are. Because if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're in trouble, because you're not. And people that I've tried to associate with in my administration, our administration, are smarter than me. They have experience and skills that I don't have. And as mayor, you just don't dictate to people what to do. You actually talk to people, and then you come up with a consensus, and you collaborate, and you come up with how you move forward. And if you try to do it all yourself, like the king of something, you're going to mess up and fail. So, okay, I have one problem. I have to leave, and I'll tell you why. For some reason or another, and I can't figure out what it is, there's a state representative from Pittsburgh in Allegheny County that introduced a bill to preempt, to abolish our beverage tax. He's doing it on behalf of multi-million, billionaire soda makers, who, no one from Philadelphia would do it, so they had to go as far as Allegheny County to get them to do it. I got to go make phone calls to our state representatives around the state to ask them not to support that so that we can continue on with our program. So I'm going to take my leave. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your all the questions were terrific, and look forward to you coming back again soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor Kenny, for your comments, your insights, and your willingness to field questions from an inquisitive group of students today. As the mayor, his primary job is to serve as the chief executive of the city of Philadelphia. But in order to really get stuff done, you need to work with kind of the chief executive or the chief legislator of the legislative body in government, be it at the federal, state, or local level. We have one of the best, I think, in Council President Darrell Clark, and I know his time is short too because he'll be working with the mayor to sort of help rectify some of the issues that Mayor Kenny was just describing. So please help me give a warm welcome to Council President Darrell Clark.
Good afternoon. So the mayor is going to call a certain set of people, and I have to call in another set of people to ask them, please do not do that preemption bill. So it's a pleasure to be here. Everybody doing good today? Come on, stop playing. Everybody doing good today? That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, first I'd like to really thank and tell you how much I appreciate the leadership of Big Brothers and Big Sisters and all the awesome work they do. Attended a couple of events and well attended in their focus. Actually, they helped us out on some things over in Strawberry Mansion. I'm from the Strawberry Mansion community, born and raised, kind of like that Will Smith thing, you know. But the simple reality is that the work they do is so significant that you really can't get a handle on it until you experience it. You as young individuals, you get an opportunity to experience it, and it's important. I've been doing this job for a long, long time. Some people might say too long. All right, well, whatever, right? That's their perspective. But at the end of the day, actually, I've been doing it long enough. I actually have a pension. Until you younger folks, you ask your parents and your grandparents, what's a pension, right? That means like after you work so many years, you get to like retire and you have a check, the mail person or whatever it is, direct deposit. You actually have money. They say, well, why are you still doing this? And when I look at you all, I look at the young people, I say, I come to work every day because of that. Because the reality is that the next generation of individuals in this country is so important. And the other reality is that you all are the role models for those individuals. You know, when people like myself, Councilman Derek Green, my colleague over here, he's a little younger than me, so he might have a better relationship. But when we talk to a lot of young people out in the street, and, you know, you talk to different neighborhoods and, you know, you get different responses. And it's always respectful, but in some instances, it kind of like goes in here and goes out here, right? But the reality is if you all talk to them as role models, you get them. You get them because you're their peers. And the reality is that your ability to help mold the next group of individuals that will be responsible, that will be standing here, or will be standing on the fourth floor, running city council, being the chief executive, being a member of some legislative body, or the head of a corporation, or who's going to be running Apple. All of those things are important. That's why it's critical for us to provide the necessary tools to you young folks to make sure that you're in a position to take this to the next level. So I just want to say how proud I am to be in a position to support Big Brothers, Big Sisters, how proud I am of you all because you have shown the willingness to take it to the next level and how important it is for us to make sure that you're in a position to do that. So I'm excited. I see there's probably some parents here. Parents? No? No parents? Yeah, work. Oh, mentors. All right. I'm sorry. You know, parents are at work. I just want to congratulate the mentors for doing some awesome things. And at the end of the day, we're going to continue to be here for you in every step of the way because it's our responsibility to make sure that at some point you do what we do now to take it to the next level and provide that leadership in your communities across the city of Philadelphia. So I want to thank you all so much. Congratulations. Am I supposed to take questions or am I supposed to go make phone calls? Thank you very much. Too late? No, I'm just kidding. You guys, any questions? It's good. I know the mayor. Yes, sir.
I'll ask the same question I asked the mayor.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Being a council person, you learn a lot, and Councilman Green can talk to you about. Mayor did say, listen, because all of us got elected. So we're all like individually elected officials, and at the end of the night, you know, we're partying. Yeah, we won, we beat everybody. You know, kind of like your head gets a little swollen, your hat size changes, because you think you're all that, right? And you come in here with this mindset that I know everything, right? And you quickly learn that you don't know everything, right? Because the reality is, every day of every week, something new comes before you that you didn't deal with before. And that's why it's so important to listen, because you don't know everything. It's so important for me to listen to you all, the young people, because I clearly don't even know what's the latest music, right? I don't know, right? I got to ask my grandson, what's the deal, right? But it's important for us to listen. And the other thing, to have the willingness to understand, you know, other people's perspective, because everybody has, you know, they think I know, and what I think is accurate. It's the Bible. It's what it is. But you don't necessarily, your perspective on life is not necessarily the same as somebody else's. So you need to listen, and you need to understand. A person might disagree with you and you don't understand it, but they disagree with you because of a reason, and you need to respect that. At the end of the day, you may not agree, but you need to respect their willingness and their right to have a different perspective. So those are the kind of things. And then, if you're here, you gotta show leadership. You can't be in these jobs and be unwilling to make a decision. You can't be in these jobs and be unwilling to confront the constituency, you know, to kind of hide, well, I'm not going to that meeting because I know they're going to be screaming and hollering at you. Well, guess what? You signed up for the job, go to the meeting, get screamed and hollered at, right? And at the end of the day, come up with a solution, because that's why we're here. Because if we didn't have to do any of that, anybody can do these jobs. So that's what I've learned in this job, and I think that I did so-so job, but it didn't, because I've been here a while. But the reality is that, you know, if you're going to be involved in anything, be it a politician, be it a CEO, being a person who has a business, I ask people to be consequential. You know, be involved, make decisions, and do something that will better and enhance the city of Philadelphia and your family. Right? Good? Yes?
So how do you separate your personal and your
Yeah, so I'm still waiting to have a personal life. So when I find my personal life, I'll figure out how to separate it, because at the end of the day, if you walk out of your house in the morning and somebody sees you and they recognize you because you've been on TV, you are on the clock. So, I mean, you try to steal a moment every now and then. You go to the movies and hope you may have to go to the movies like way, way out when nobody sees it. I'm just saying, that's just the simple reality. But, you know, this is a 24/7 job. I mean, it's just like being a police officer. If you're a police officer and you see a crime being committed, you can't say, well, I'm off the clock. You got to get engaged. And if you're an elected official, you see something that needs to be corrected, you might not be able to fix it right then and there, but it better be put up here in that mindset, and the next morning when you go to work, you need to figure it out. So you have very limited, if anybody wants to be a politician, your personal life is going to be about this big, all right? That's just the reality. Yeah. Good? Yes. I'm not sure I got that. What? Yeah, I didn't. They're a little louder. All right. So public school lunches, a lot different than the public school lunches that we got. This issue with respects to school lunches, and in some instances, depending on the school, breakfast in school is extremely important. Unfortunately, in a lot of households across the city of Philadelphia, people do not have an opportunity to have a meaningful breakfast in the morning for a lot of different reasons. That lunch and that food that they get in that school might be the most nourishing, the most important meal they get of the day. That's why we have to make sure that we continue. There are some people down in Louisiana who are moving forward with a program to eliminate school lunches and eliminate support for feeding. It is bizarre. There's some very mean-spirited people. But in the city of Philadelphia, I don't care what they do in Louisiana, what they do in Texas, we're going to make sure that we continue to have the necessary nourishment for our young people. Regardless of how we get it done, it's going to happen in the city of Philadelphia. All right? Good? One more. One more. Ethel Allen? On Lehigh Avenue? What about? Is that where you went? No, Strawberry Mansion. No, I went to Blaine and then I went to Strawberry Mansion. Yeah, I'm in the same neighborhood though. Yeah, same neighborhood. Yeah, nah, I'm up there so much I feel like I went there. No, but it's, back then it was like all the neighborhood. You went to the different schools, but it was Strawberry Mansion. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. I'll be somewhat brief because I think I'm the almost last person between you and lunch. My name is Councilman Derek Green. I'm an at-large council member. So earlier you heard from our mayor, Mayor Kenny. Before Mayor Kenny became mayor, he had the same role I had as an at-large council person. When you're an at-large council person, you represent the entire city. So we have 17 members of council. We have 7 at-large council members, 5 who are Democrats, 2 to Republicans, and then you have 10 district council members. And our council president, Dal Clark, is a district council member representing the 5th council district, which includes Strawberry Mansion, which he's very proud of, as well as other parts of North Philadelphia and also part of Center City. So I will just leave you with this one thing. I want to thank all of the work that you're doing and being a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and also not only remember that the work you're doing here, you're training for leadership. And so just like your bigs are providing you with leadership opportunities, you're also doing the same thing for your big brothers and big sisters. So you're developing a connection and relationship and developing leadership skills that'll take you throughout your entire life. So think about when you're in different situations, when you're meeting people, don't be afraid to ask questions. You've asked some really great questions today, but don't be afraid to take someone's business card or learn from them, because you never know, they may be engaged or be part of a future career that you're thinking about trying to do. So make sure you reach out to people and also let people know all the things you're trying to do in your life going forward, and that you're providing as much leadership to your bigs as they are providing you. So thank you for being here. I'm sure you'll enjoy the day. You've got great leadership with Marcus and Bill, so congrats and keep striving.
How many of you in here are hungry? Anybody hungry? All right, so I got a 10-minute speech and I got a 2-minute speech. Which one you want? All right, 2. All right, got it. All right, so quick question. How many of you in here are smart? All right, how many of you in here are wise? All right, so I saw less hands go up on that one. So let me give you the definition of that real quick. My mentor, my coach, I played college ball, went on to play professional basketball. My coach said, son, do you want to be smart or do you want to be wise? And I said, Coach, what's the difference? And he said, smart people learn from their own mistakes. Wise people learn from the mistakes of others. Which one do you want to be? And so many of you have seen a lot of things in your neighborhoods that aren't right. Many of you have seen a lot of students in your classroom, your fellow students, who don't do the right things, right? And I ask you today, because you have a caring, compassionate adult in your life who's trying to show you the right way, are you going to be smart or are you going to be wise? So I'm Marcus Allen. I'm the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters Independence Region. Been here about 5 years, and it is such a pleasure to have you join us here today. This has been an awesome program. I want to give a shout out to our staff and Bill DeVito for putting this event together. Can we give them a round of applause, please? And while you're at it, I'm only talking to the littles. And some of you are not so little. Some of you are bigger than most of our bigs. I want you to give a warm round of applause to your bigs for being there for you consistently. Give them a round of applause. So I know we have Carver High School here today, and we have Dr. Ethel Allen School, and it has been a pleasure. We've been working with both of these schools for a number of years. I just think what you do each and every day, I'm talking to the students now, is amazing. Like, it is amazing the stories that I hear about what's happening with you in your program and in your schools. And I'm here today just to give you a little bit of optimism, because sometimes we tend to pay attention to too many of the negative things that are happening in our communities and around us. But I got to tell you, for myself and many of the adults in the room, you are a positive light for us. You are showing us each and every day what it means to show leadership and be the positive that we want to see in the world. I know Mayor Kinney talked a little bit about what it takes to be a leader. For me, each and every one of you already has what it takes, and it's up to us as adults to give you the access to be able to show us. So by being in this program, you're well on your way. I want to thank all of you for coming here today. I want to thank our bigs again. I want to thank the teachers, the schools, the coordinators who make this possible. And I'm going to get out of your way because I know there's some food in there waiting on you. And I'm not going to take any questions because I don't want to belabor this. Bill, is there anything that I'm missing in terms of last minute stuff? All right, so the room that we're going to leave here and go to is right across the hallway. And we have some really good food for you. We're going to be here until what time? Till 1, and then we're going to start to load up to get on the buses to get back to school. So again, thank you. I'll hang around a little bit if you have questions over here. We're going to go right across the hall for lunch. Thank you so much.